Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a hot minute. It's been a busy summer. Got a new job, so that's been keeping me pretty busy too. I actually have like 3 videos and I just haven't had time to edit them all. So hopefully I'll get those out here pretty soon. Today we're going to be doing a 3-color inkle weave. And I picked this because, funny enough, my nephew has been spending some time over here this summer, and he was flipping through my 3-color inkle book. It's a 3-color pickup for inkle weavers by MacHale. My nephew particularly loved that little snake, and so we're going to do that even though it's only 2 colors, but we're going to do everything the same as if we were going to be using all 3 colors. We're going to wind on all 3 colors, and I've actually almost got that whole thing done, and I did a couple of motifs in between everything that did use all 3 colors, and when I get that all done, I'll show you a picture at the end. Now I am when I inkle weave, I use single loop heddles. I don't like doing the double fold over. You'll see my loom is kind of on the smaller side, and so whenever I try to do with double loop, or when you fold it over in half to use the fold over type heddles, I just found that they kept falling off the peg and it got really annoying. So I switched over to use these single loop heddles, which I actually really like. They are a lot easier for me to manage, and actually they're not super difficult to wind on. Now you'll notice me fiddling around a lot in this video with them, and that is only because I am trying to stay out of the way of the video cameras. I'm trying to make it as, video friendly as possible so you can see what I'm doing. Obviously in this particular one my back is in the way, but that's because I wanted to show you what was going on with my Lazy Kate there, which I made, and I'm super proud of that thing. I did that completely free, all with scraps out of my dad's garage, so thank you, Dad. But it's basically just a piece of, the baseboard is a piece of wood that was from our chicken coop. It was just a scrap piece, and then a couple of 2x4s, and obviously some dowels, and then another piece of that board on the top, just the same size as the dowels. So that was a fun little project. I wish I had videoed that for you, but I didn't. If anybody's interested, I could probably make up some kind of instructions for it, but really it's just all screwed together, and it worked out really good. I don't even really know. I just kind of picked pieces of wood up off the floor and made it work. Anyway, so right now I'm loading on the border pieces, or border warps, onto the inkle loom. So I'm just doing one thread at a time right now, and so I just hook those single loop heddles onto the hooks on the side there, and then whenever I need one, I just pull it off the hook. And the reason I do that is because the first time I ever did it this way, I did not have those little hooks there, and the heddles kept getting in the way. It was super irritating, and they got all tangled up, and I was like, ugh, this is super frustrating. So I just put those little hooks in there, and now everything stays all tidy and the way it's supposed to. So I'm doing a red and blue and black border, and so first putting on 3 warps of red, and then I will go ahead and do 2 of the black and 2 of the blue. And I'm just using, I believe they call that a surgeon's knot, where you twist it twice around each other and then you tie it one more time. Pretty sure that's called surgeon's knot. And when I do the first part of that, where you tie it, twist it twice around each other, I tighten that really tight against that front peg, and it actually holds pretty good. And then I tie the second knot to hold everything in place. So just going, of course, every other, which heddled, unheddled, heddled, unheddled. And I pull the loops off as I'm going. And so here you go, we've switched angles. I've got the border going all the way on there. So this particular pattern starts with a medium and a light color. So all three color Inkle patterns are done as dark, medium, and light. So obviously you can do whatever you want, but the patterns really show better if you do use that combo of dark, medium, and light. You can do, and I have done this before, where you do a all within the same hues. So I did one that was a dark, medium, and light of pink varieties, which turned out really cool looking. But this one I'm doing the green, black, and white, same as what's in the book. And I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why my nephew liked that so much, because he liked the color combination. And I just happen to have those colors. So here you can see me doing that surgeon's knot. So I wrapped it twice, tighten it real tight against that front peg. Boy, I can't talk today. And then tie a single knot to hold everything in place. And so we started off with just the medium and the light. And the medium, the green, was heddled and the white was unheddled. I'm going to trim that off. And now we will go dark, medium, and light for the remainder of however many threads I need, which is a total of 73. And I'm just using some nice 8/4 cotton here. I love to inkle weave with 8/4 cotton. That's my favorite thing to do it with. I love the way that it looks, the texture of it, and the you can get a really good width out of it. I like wider inkle bands. So what I'm doing here is I am pulling off. So we're starting with a dark, the black, and that one's going to be heddled, and then the green is unheddled, and then the white is going to be heddled. And you see that I just lay all three colors there in their appropriate positions. So the black is over the top, the green is over the back peg, and the white was over the top with their respective single loop petals. Now I can take all three of those once I've got them in place and go ahead and wrap them around my pegs. And I am using the full length of this Inkle loom, which is, I believe, 6 feet, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I pulled a full length off, so but I wanted my nephew to have as much as he possibly could with it, because I don't know what he's going to do with it. He's a little boy. He will probably make a whip out of it or something. Who knows? So anyways, just going to go ahead and continue doing that. So the next group of 3, and I always do in groups of 3, it just makes it so much easier to keep track of. So the next group of 3 is going to be dark, medium, and light. However, this time the black is going to be unheddled, the green will be heddled, and the white will be unheddled. And so I'm just going to go ahead and lay the black across the back there. I will go ahead and pull a heddle off my hooks, put that on, and put that in the right spot. Oops, dropped it. Lay that across the back, and then also put the white one across the back. And then wrap all 3. Oops. I do like to sometimes, if they're like way off, I will even up the ends a little bit. Not totally necessary, but that's just me. I'm a little OCD. What can I say? And then we just wrap all 3 just like that. And great. 6 down and a whole bunch more to go. Alright, let's just speed things along here so we can get to the next part. Even up the All right, yay, we made it. So got everything all threaded up and we are gonna start weaving. Now you might be thinking, oh my goodness, she's using red. Yeah, that's because my border's in red. And once you get everything all squished together, you don't see it because it is a warp-faced weave, so you're not going to see the red in betweens. So what I do here is I go ahead and I don't use like the little popsicle stick spacers or anything. I'm not doing any fringe or anything on this for him. I'm just gonna finish the edge with like a zigzag stitch or something. And so I do this for a couple of inches where I will use the working yarn and make that go through, and then I will also pull the tail through, and I'll do, well, not inches, a couple of picks I should say. And this just helps it when I pull it off the loom from coming unraveled. And so we'll just do a couple of picks like this, and then we'll get into the actual pattern. So you can see here that every other row, you can kind of see that it's still going dark. It goes kind of dark, light, medium, and instead of dark, medium, light, and that is just because of the way that when you heddle versus unheddle things, but that's exactly the way it's supposed to be. So don't worry if you start weaving, you're like, wait, it's not dark, medium, light. Well, yes it is. It's correct. It's just because of the way it's heddled versus unheddled, it's going to look a little bit different once you start weaving. And yeah, so beat that down really hard, and then I pull both, squeeze, yep, just like that. And I'll probably do that 1 or 2 more times. I'm really paranoid about things coming unraveled, so I like to make sure that it's not going to. And then when I get to the end, I will do something very similar. To keep that from coming unraveled at the other end as well. And pull, pull. Also, so I do use that technique. I don't remember who I learned it from. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. And I'm just going to snip that off. But where you don't pull it through all the way, you leave a little bit of a loop there like that. Then you switch your sheds, beat it down, and then pinch and pull. And even though I don't have like the most perfect salvages, it's definitely way better than it used to be. When I first started, my salvages were sort of all over the place. So this works really well. That little trick for me. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about the pattern and how I do that. So I'm a little bit dyslexic, and so reading the pattern out of Annie MacHale's book is a little bit difficult for me, just because of the way the pattern is pictured. So I use the knitting chart program, and I actually chart everything in here, and I will show you exactly how I do that. So that's what the snake looks like charted in the knitting chart program. And basically all I do is well, I don't know what I'm doing here. Hang on a sec. Go back. Oh yeah, so here's one that uses all 3 colors. So, and this one was a really cool, like, braid sort of pattern. So each thread has its own column. So you can see down at the bottom where I have placed a sort of key down there at the bottom. And every time there is a square with no dot, there's a color squared with no dot. That's the one I am going to lift. So that's how I keep track of that. So with this one, the snake only has 2 colors. So obviously there's only 2, but you can see down at the bottom, I still put all 3 colors in there because otherwise it would not have worked. So you just start, and it's a little bit tedious to set this up because Knit Chart doesn't have the dots already in there. I have to put those in there myself, but copy and paste is a beautiful thing. So I just do that. So you can see how different the actual pattern looks from how I've charted it in Knit Chart. But because of my dyslexia, even with a sticky note, I don't think I wouldn't be able to follow that. I would get so lost and confused and be like, where am I? I don't know. And that is why using the Knit Chart program makes everything come in handy, because you can see that white sort of lighter stripe there that keeps track of what row I'm on, and it just makes it so much easier. All right, so back to our loom, and we're gonna go ahead and let me set this up so you can see both. So, okay, that's better. So we're gonna start here. You can see I'm on actually row 2 for the pickup. And again, I'm picking up the non-dotted colored squares, which represent the underside. So we're going to count over however many threads I need to count over. In this case, I believe it was 3 dark threads, and we're going to pick up the next dark thread. And we're just going to separate the top, and not super long, but like medium length fingernails really help with this. So then I just pick up the thread and hold it up, and then I will do a weft and then beat that down. And so you can see how now that thread that we picked up from the bottom is floating across the top there. And that is going to create our first pattern thread. And we will go ahead and cinch that in. Pinch and pull. Good enough. All right, now we'll go ahead and up the pattern. And now that you've got that first one going, the rest comes pretty easily. With 3-color Inkle weaving, I have noticed that everything is in diagonals. So you just gonna pick up the next dark thread over. So now we've got that first one going, we just move to the next one, and we're gonna pick that up. And now this one's a heddled one, but that's exactly what it needs to be. So we'll pick up that one and draw our warp thread, or weft thread through, beat, and there we go. Pull that. All right, now we've got 2 done. And we're gonna go with the next one, which is going to be an unhuddled. And you can see I'm just going to separate right there, pull up that unhuddled dark thread, and boop. So yeah, once you get the basic idea of this, you can really do whatever you want. Like I said, most of the patterns in there involve some kind of diagonal line. So it's just a matter of like how many threads up you're gonna go, how many threads across you're gonna go. Do you go backwards a little bit? You'll see here in a minute there's gonna be one that is a longer thread, a longer float. It's actually a 5 float line, and then we start going left and right, so we're going to be creating sort of a Y shape. And that's right there, that one there. So we've already picked that one up, but we're going to pick it up again. So we're just going to leave that one floating over the top for 5 picks. And here we go. Starting to take a good shape now. I love watching this stuff in high speed because it just takes shape so fun. Okay, so now we're going to be adding a second color in. We're going to be adding the green. So we're going to do a black. We're going to pick up a black one. Then we're going to pick up the green one. And then a black one. And for whatever reason, I always go, well, I don't have a one particular direction. Sometimes I'll go from left to right, and sometimes I'll go from right to left. It just kind of depends on where I'm at in the pattern. And depends on what the pattern is. So, yeah, there's really no right or wrong way to do it as far as like which direction you're going to go reading the pattern, as long as you do it correctly. And in a little bit, I'm going to actually show you what happens or what you can do if you don't do it correctly, because I did do a little goof up on this one. And so I thought, oh, I should show them what happens if I goof up. And here we go. It's getting a little tight here. The thing with 3 colors is towards the end it does get a little tight, and you might have to advance more often than you normally do with Inkle. I don't know why that is. I just found that is the case. Probably because when you're picking up those heddled ones, it just gets really tight to get your shuttle through. All right, here we go. Let's get some weaving done here. Yeah, so I just advanced. Okay, so it's right about here that I made a little mistake. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm opening up the shed so that I can pull the red thread back out, the weft thread. And then I take that and I just lift up on the weft thread and I trace my finger along that weft. And then I can put my fingers in, put the shuttle back through, and then I will beat down on it. I'm not going to pick up any threads or anything. I'm just going to beat because that helps to get everything back into place where it needs to be before you can go ahead and fix whatever error that you made. And I don't remember, I think I missed a thread is what I did. Yeah, that's what I did. I missed a thread. So I'm going to pick that up and that black one, and I'm all done with the green, so it's just black from here on out. And we are almost done. Okay, here we are, all finished up. So that's the first snake done, and then I just kind of got really random. Some of these are patterns from the book, and some of them are kind of my own interpretation of the patterns from the book. But yeah, I just kind of got really random on some of these, like no rhyme or reason. I was just like, oh, this one looks cool, so I'll do this one. And I think that diamond is supposed to look like a heart in the middle. I don't know, I wasn't real thrilled with that one. This one's my favorite. I love the way that one kind of goes on all of itself. And a snake again, just to cap things off. See you next time.